Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Aura, and today we are going to talk about the difference between our ego, which is our everyday mind, and the higher mind, which is also known as the higher self, our soul, our intuition. So without any further ado, let's dive right into it. One of the questions that I receive the most, even during the sessions, is how can I tell the difference between my higher self and my ego? How do I know which one of them is talking to me? And the difference is that the ego will always tell you to do things and push you towards things that are expected of you from the outside world, whereas your higher self or your higher mind always wants to make sure that you are doing things in alignment with your highest good, with your highest needs, with your highest joy, with that which is best for you specifically, following your unique needs, disregarding the outside world and whatever expectations there might be out there. And the problem here is that they can be very contradictory. So one part of you may want to do a certain thing, but then your intuition, your higher self, is telling you to do something else. I prefer to not use the word higher self, even though I did get so used to it, but I know that people don't feel connected to this concept. So many times when I say the higher self, people think that it's something outside of them, something that is unreachable, that is out there, that only the highest and most advanced spiritual beings and creatures can interact with. The thing is that it's a lot simpler than that. We just like to complicate things, right? If something is not complicated, we are under the impression that it's not legit or it's not real, it's not true. The truth, though, is a lot simpler than we make this reality to be. Your intuition, your higher mind, your higher self is your gut feeling. What is your body asking of you to do today? For example, what happened to me in the past 7 days? I have been working for 2 days on a YouTube video and I was thinking I have to put it out right now. I need to put out 2 videos a week, but my intuition was telling me, no, you don't need to do this. It's better if you put it out next week. And so I fought my intuition because my ego says the world is waiting for these videos out there. I have to do it. Otherwise the algorithm, blah, 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 what is expected of me, right? And I waited Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then I said, Sunday, I'm going to put it out. I have to have 2 videos this week. Guess what happened? Nobody watched it. My intuition was telling me not to do this because your higher mind, your higher self has a broader perspective of everything that is going on in your life. It knows what your mission is. It knows what your life looks like, and it knows what is best for you. It works in your highest interest for you to achieve your highest joy. But we are so conditioned to not listen to that. We are programmed to believe that our highest joy lies in following the rules. It lies in meeting the expectations of others, in fitting into a certain box in order to be accepted by society and to play the game that has been laid out for all of us to play if we want to be part of this system. Because the ego wants to be this good little kid that is playing out the programs that have been installed and absorbed by us in the first 12 years of our lives. Your intuition, though, and your higher self, your higher mind, your gut feeling is that other part of you that has not been tainted by the programming, that knows what is best for you, that again works in your highest interest. And so this brings us to one of the understandings that we need to kill the ego. If you are going to try to kill these parts of yourself, you are never going to live your life as a complete being. We are dissecting ourselves anyway, every day since the moment that we have been conceived and we are in the womb. We start absorbing the programmings from our mother, from our parents, from the environment of our mother. So not just the mother, but also the father and everybody else that your mother is surrounded by and all the experiences that she's having. And that in itself already begins to program us as a fetus. And as we come into this world, we are told to not be the way that we are, where we already come with the full template. So nobody comes without a personality. Your soul is already an intact being. It always has been. It's a perfect being that has a unique personality with unique needs, with a unique way of expressing themselves, and a unique way of being. But we come into a world in which we have to begin to discard all these parts of ourselves so that we may be accepted and loved by our parents and by everyone around us, because we need this connection, especially in the first years of our life, where without this connection, we cannot survive. We cannot survive as a baby without our parents or caretakers making sure that we do get through the first years of our life. We do get fed. We do get to learn how to interact in this human society. And because we have to choose between being ourselves or being loved by the people that teach us how to survive in the society, oftentimes we choose not to be ourselves because it is unaccepted for most of the part by the society that we come into. Look at all these kids nowadays. Everybody is on ADHD pills and medications and all types of things to numb them down. And why do they need these things? Because they are giving all types of technology to program them to be in a certain way. And also the parents are no longer spending time with their kids, and these kids are not being out there socializing in nature, learning to be themselves, learning to nurture their authentic way of being. And that's why you have all this energy that needs to be released, because not just as children, but each and every one of us is literally going crazy every single time we are expected to not follow our needs and to not be who it is that we truly are. There is a part of us that feels the need to retaliate against that. And so because we are already so dissected and fragmented from the moment that we come into this world, then we have the spiritual and new age community telling us that we need to kill our ego. That makes absolutely no sense. That just means that you have more parts of yourself that you need to get rid of. The ego is a child that needs to be integrated. It's a child that needs to be parented. Your ego, your everyday conscious mind, like I said, is playing out the programs from the first 12 years of your life, where we are being programmed due to the states of mind that we find ourselves into. The first 2 years of our life, we are in a delta state. Then the following 3 years, we are in a theta state. And then between 7 and 12, we are in alpha state of mind. And these are the states of mind in which you program the mind, the subconscious mind. This is why in hypnotherapy, we enter these states of mind in order to begin to reprogram ourselves, to rewire the brain, to remember what it is that happened during this part of our life, why we are having certain limited beliefs about ourselves and about our reality, so that we may begin to disregard them and integrate and implement our own authentic truth. Begin to live this life as who it is that we truly are. And that part of us was still present during the first 2, 3, 4, 5 years of our lives. It's usually around the age of 7 where we really start to transition and live our authenticity behind, so that we may fit in the box that society provides us with. And so what we need to do with our everyday conscious mind, with our ego, is that we need to reparent it. The ego is to be embraced. It is to be taught. I cannot speak today. It's to be loved, just like a child. Meet yourself again, meet your inner child again, and ask them, what is it that you need from me? How can I help you? Why are we thinking like this? So every time you do something against yourself, something that you're not really happy about doing, like it was with me, right? I had to do this video, but I really didn't want to do it, but I had to do it. So I forced myself and everything went sideways. So when you find yourself in moments like these, ask yourself, so what is it that I'm actually doing? Why am I doing this? Why am I having these beliefs? Why am I forcing myself to do something that I do not want to do? And try to align yourself with the goals of your intuition, of your gut feeling, of your higher mind, of your higher self. What is it that you actually want to do instead? And begin to implement these things in your everyday life. The things that you know bring you joy, make you happy. And by doing that, you are reparenting your ego. You make friends with these parts of yourself. You have to help yourself, not push yourself further away. If you have kids, if you have whatever, your best friend, someone that you really, really love, in order to help them out, do you push them away or do you actually help them out? Do you lovingly show them a new way of being? The ego is amazing because that's where we have our primal needs, our primal sensors. It is part of the system of duality, which teaches us to embrace the entire spectrum of the all that is, from good to bad, and perceive it from a neutral point of view. And when it comes to the ego, in order to truly heal and make friends with it and love it and respect this part of yourself, you need to learn to catch yourself with every painful, dense emotion that may be coming through you. Instead of distracting yourself to do something else, to not feel the way you're feeling, dive within this emotion. Take your time to fully feel it. Feel it to the core of its essence. Grab this emotion and truly understand what it is rooted in, where is it coming from, because this is the only way to begin to rewire yourself to do things differently. It's the only way to truly free and liberate yourself so that it may not come up again. And please be patient with yourself, because any healing process is a process. We have this entire life to align ourselves with our highest essence, with our highest self. I can tell you this from all the sessions that I had, the number one mission that each and every single one of us has is to realign with our true essence and begin to integrate it here in our everyday mind, in our everyday mind and our everyday life with no exception. And we have our entire life to do that. One thing that can make things easier for you maybe is to ask yourself, or imagine that you would be lying on your deathbed. It's the only thing that is inevitable, right, in this life, the only thing that we know for sure. If you would find yourself on your deathbed, what things would you have done differently in your life? Because most of the people, when dying, they usually regret that they have worked too much, that they didn't spend enough time with their loved ones, that they didn't take enough time for themselves to make sure that they love and play and enjoy this life enough to the fullest. So what things in your everyday life, what is it that you need to change in order to step on your path of your highest joy? And I can tell you that I have seen so many beautiful souls that I have worked with, that as they have talked to their higher self, they talked to their intuition, to their subconscious mind, and they started after the session implementing these things in their life. They have changed tremendously. They have lived through miracles. They went from being lost and giving up to thriving in the most beautiful ways. And no, you do not need to have a session in order to get here, which is why I'm making all these videos and I have been offering all these workshops, which I will be putting in the cards at the end so that you may go through them if you want to. But it's just a matter of everyday practice, of practicing to implement the things that bring you joy in your everyday life. And it can be the absolute smallest of things, like just going outside and being in the light, even if it's dark and murky outside. So many of us are depressed, I want to say nowadays, but yes, nowadays, because nowadays we are incarcerated in these buildings instead of actually being outside and enjoying the nature. I recently learned from my husband that only 1%, he's an architect, and the standard is to make sure that you get 1% of the light that is outside, inside the house. 1%. I couldn't believe it when I heard it. I thought we had a way bigger percentage of light inside. So this makes sense now why so many of us are depressed. Do the small things that your body, your intuition, your gut feeling, your higher mind is asking you to do. That's all it takes. All it takes. And the more you do it, the more you are training this like a muscle, the more of your higher self you begin to implement and integrate within the physical body, within your emotional body. And as you begin to change, as your emotional state and your everyday state of being begins to change, so will your reality, because we create our reality with our conscious mind. Consciousness creates reality. This is the law of quantum physics. And so now, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to type them in the comments below. If you have any other themes that you would like me to talk about, please, please, please let me know. I absolutely love reading your comments. I love interacting with you, and I love that you are here. I'm so grateful for each and every single one of you. I can't even express it enough. And I bid you a most wonderful moment of the infinite now. As I always mention, I do have this workbook that you can access through my website. You can just download it. It's for free, which will help you to step into your true essence. And I'm going to leave the link below. Have a most wonderful moment of the infinite now. Take care of yourself. I love you. Bye.